So it's the 85th turn, the beginning of. We have the notification of Luca Briganza. My lord, you can hire a famous captain, Luca Briganza, and his besiegers. He demands 5,000 gold crowns for his services. The besiegers wear full-plate armor in exotic Merigliano style and carry a large pavis on a backstrap. The famous regiment of besiegers was originally employed by ingenious Borgio the Besieger, Prince of Merigliano, as a special siege unit of crossbowmen. Borgio wanted marksmen who could pick off defenders on the walls at close range in the face of hail of the enemy missiles, hold ramparts against assault, provide missile support for sappers and miners, man siege towers, and, if need be, stand their ground against enemy units, selling out besieged fortresses. Briganza's troop soon proved their worth in Borgio's many sieges and turned out to be equally good as a rear guard in the open battle. Having starved out of or received the lander of pretty well every city and fortress that he ever besieged, Borgio was well pleased with Briganza's besiegers and offered to find them work in return for a cut of profits. Briganza accepted Borgia's kind offer at once, knowing full well to refuse Borgia's kind was not only impolite but also a criminal course of action. Soon the besiegers took ship to Toboro, where they took part in a siege of the pirate stronghold on the isle of Serascuro. Then they were hired by the dwarves for help recapture a very strong dwarf outpost in the Badlands, which had been captured by orcs. Briganza was paid handsomely with a massive chest of jewels, and regiment began to long track back to Merigliano through hostile territory to deliver Borgio's agreed share of the loot. No one ever double-crossed Borgio and lived. They battled their way across Apaccinis in winter and fought off dwarf bandits, orcs, beastmen, empire robber, knights, and Tylenia outlaw band. Renegade Bretonnian commoners who had treacherously slain their lord, starving and extremely desperable halflings, even more hungry and desperate ogres, the notorious Red Company of Remas, whose captain had vendetta against Briganza, and various others, winning by forming a hollow square and shooting them all down as they came. On entering Telia, they heard news that Borgio had been treacherously assassinated and his mighty dogs of war army had either disbanded or split into the factions, fighting in the streets of Merigliano. Briganza decided to do the obvious thing and share out the jewels and continue his career as one of the best mercenary regiments ever to come off to Telia. The besiegers were soon hired by the Prince of Lucini and sent to Sartosa, where the prince was waging war against one of the other manly pirate chiefs on the isle. Since then, the besiegers have fought for many masters in many sieges and open battles, always standing like a wall of steel and adding to their legendary reputation. Yes, I'll take them. I don't have any. Faction leader killed. Emperor Karl. The unthinkable has happened. Our noble ruler has been slain at the hands of the enemy. Once the people have mourned properly, retribution for this vicious blow must be swift and decisive. This was the worst turn since I began the LP, and it killed my morale. But we shall continue and finish what we started. First army must be renewed, because this was awful. Bell, which we lost huge amount of men. And our greatest thing, the Emperor. Thankfully we have one, and that is Wilhelm Giskar defending the walls, the gates of Aldorf. Middenheim has to be recaptured. We should call upon a crusade if we can. We can. Middenheim is the central rallying point for chaos. So it shall be called upon. And it is actually the route which chaos can only take at the moment towards the capital. We shall call upon a Middenheim. The Grand Tegens called a crusade. Crusader called. And that's what the bastards deserve. And that's what shall happen to them. They will be destroyed totally. And that's the end of this turn. Now let's just rejoin forces here.
Forming an unstoppable army.
True to that. True to that. So the new crown king, the emperor, shall be his son, which is around here somewhere. Emperor Rudolf the Tyrant. Thankfully he had a lot of fights around, so he is now the only one, no matter if he is a tyrant or not, the only emperor. So he is what it is. He is. Merchant vaults. No, tavern. Merchant vaults. Let's build anything that gives money. It will go in a longer run. Printing house, sure. I'll waste every money if I have to just to bring more money, revenue from all this. Or maybe we just lose everything, but who cares? As it stands, 22 turns until the end. See you in the next